For those of you who don't watch my channel, I love Pokemon XYZ. Pokemon XYZ is what actually got me into Pokemon fully, as I did love collecting the Pokemon packs as a kid, but what actually got me into the diehard Pokemon fan I am today is Pokemon XYZ the anime. Now, I've watched this show probably more times than you have, I'll be honest. Actually, yeah, I'm not gonna challenge that. Some of y'all can get crazy with your favorite shows, but I thought it would be fun to do a video on my top 10 favorite characters in Pokemon XYZ, and you guys will have to comment by the end of the video on whether I cooked with the list or if there are a few characters I missed and what you would change about the list. This list will be based off of 3 different categories. Number 1 is character writing, number 2 the impact the character had, and lastly the most important category of them all, and probably the one that disregards every single category I previously mentioned, is how much I like the character. Hello friends, my name is Pokey, and these are, in my opinion, the top 10 best characters in Pokemon XYZ. I also wanted to mention that I won't be including Ash since he's in every single region, but I just wanted to say he would most definitely be in the top 5, and it's not even close. Coming in at number 10 is going to be Professor Sycamore. Now I really wish that Sycamore had more screen time during Kalos Quest because his screen time really fell off during that time, but bro, this guy has to be my favorite professor ever. Like, the way he was researching about Mega Evolution made him so much more unique than other professors, but not only that, bro could throw hands as well. During the final showdown, he was keeping up with Steven's Mega Metagross with his Mega Garchomp, which I found so cool, man. He felt more than just a professor, but also an actual trainer too, which not many Pokemon professors nowadays feel like that. But he is staying at number 10 purely because at the end of the day, he is just a background character and there are much more developed characters in the series. But I feel like they did a great job making him feel more involved in the finale, and him helping Ash with the bond phenomenon was so cool. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Diantha. Now, I don't really have much to say about Diantha other than I really like the dynamic between her and her Gardevoir, but honestly, I feel like she could have used much more development and much more screen time. She doesn't really compare to some of the other champions like Steven or Cynthia in my opinion, but I still like her appearance, and her whole star aspect was also pretty fun. Now, coming in at number 8 is going to be a shocker, but it's Wulfric. Now, hear me out. I know it's weird to have a gym leader out here, especially out of all the other ones. Wulfric doesn't particularly have much screen time, but the impact this character made on Ash as a whole is absolutely insane. Bro changed Ash as a character for the rest of the Pokemon anime. Ash before that gym was so cocky and stubborn about losing, he lost the joy he got from Pokemon battling. But when he fought Wulfric, he was told by him that he didn't feel any spark from him and that he needed more work on his bond phenomenon. These little things make Wulfric such a great gym leader, man, and I just think he's so underrated. Plus, he's a Chad. Now, moving on to number 7, we have Bonnie. Now, I truly believe that Bonnie has to be such an enjoyable character to watch. Genuinely speaking, I think they did such a great job with Bonnie's character. I don't remember the last time I got mad at Bonnie or even got extremely angry at her or ever annoyed by her for that matter, which really shocked me because kids in anime can be really frustrating to watch sometimes. She wasn't just a comedic relief character, but someone even I could relate to, and I know that sounds odd, so hear me out. When I first watched the show when I was a kid, Bonnie and I related a lot in the series. She was always so stoked to meet new Pokemon and always found Greninja and Ash so cool that she even nicknamed the Pokemon Ash Greninja. So whenever you guys hate on Bonnie, just remember that she gave us this goated nickname for one of our favorite starters. I also found her really adorable, and her interactions with Clement and especially Squishy were phenomenal. One of the only kid-like characters that I never once found unbearable to watch on screen. Now on to number 6, and this is going to be none other than Karina. Karina is not only one of my favorite characters, but my favorite gym leader of all time. I think all of us can agree that Karina has to be one of the best written gym leaders of all time. Her bond with Lucario and also her growth to becoming a promising trainer to make her master proud is incredibly admirable. Not to mention the entire arc with her and her Lucario is so freaking good. Her Lucario was being berserk with Mega Evolution and was attacking her relentlessly, but she never gave up, and her Lucario grew to overcome that hurdle and become remarkable trainers, which makes so much more sense with Lucario's lore and all that. But I just love their stories so much, and her energy she gives off during the series is always nice to see. Now we're entering the top 5, and why not start with one of my favorite Pokemon characters of all time, Sawyer. Sawyer has grown so much since the start of the XY series. The different take they went with Sawyer was honestly amazing. He wasn't an arrogant rival who was a pretty bad person like Paul was, but an actual rival who just wanted to be on par or even beat his best friend. And the fact that he went from losing every battle to finally beating Ash and then getting Ash down to his last Pokemon in the league showed how much of a better trainer this guy became. I really love Sawyer as a character, man, and it was a shame that we didn't get to see more of him, but definitely a top 5 character for me, that's for sure. Now on to number 4, we have Lysander, and oh my gosh, this guy was an amazing villain. He was low-key kind of psychotic, which is why he was such a good villain. I mean, bro even had Team Rocket on the good side because of how destructive this guy was during the finale. Not to mention, learning about his backstory and how he gave away some of his technology to the people in need was amazing, showing he did indeed have some empathy, but that turned into hatred for the world for making it that way in the first place. Not to mention some of the stuff he said to Zygarde about the unlimited greed of humans. I mean, bro isn't wrong. His voice actor also nailed the role, which is why he makes the top 4 spot for me. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we are approaching the home stretch. Taking the number 3 spot is none other than Alon. Now, I don't think this should be a surprise at all. Like, Alon was made to be practically the Gojo of the Pokemon series, and they freaking delivered. But holy frick, bro fought multiple legendaries and even the GOAT Steven Stone. Not to mention the way Lysander had a hold on Alon reminds me a lot of All For One and Shigaraki from My Hero Academia, and I love that dynamic. And the fact that he didn't stay evil and return to the good side, man. Not to mention he did this for the person he cared for the most, that being Marin. He's so cool, and of course his Charizard is built different. I just cannot love him as a character. He's just so enjoyable to watch on screen. Now, number 2 is going to be Serena. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't think I'll ever like a female side character more than Serena in Pokemon. The way she always helped her comrades as well as growing from her performances made me really admire her a lot. Not to mention her and Ash having that connection was just so cute. And don't get me started on how she made such a huge impact on Ash's character. Remember how I talked about how Ash was always focused on winning and Wulfric helped him out of that? Well, it was actually Serena who put in the final wake-up call that Ash needed, and that scene in the snow forest almost makes me tear up because seeing her cry like that is just too much, man. I also love how they didn't just make her a simple-minded love interest for Ash too. They actually made her into her own character, and she had tons of screen time and development within her own performances. There were moments when she expressed said love, but they didn't make her just fawn over him. She was genuinely looking at Ash for inspiration, and when Ash was at his lowest, she helped him when he needed it the most. Like, bro, she deserves it all. And now, my friends, the moment you've all been waiting for, my favorite character in the XY series is Clement. I don't really know how much I can even express as to why I love Clement so much. The dude is not only really funny, but always such a good man. He helps when he can, and always has such good intentions for the group. When Ash needed help with the bomb phenomenon, he helped him. When Bonnie wanted her own Pokemon, he helped her. And when the world was in peril, it was his own creation of Clembot that helped save the world. And Clembot's death literally makes me tear up. I'm not even joking. As a kid, I died. I literally died inside. I know it's pretty basic, but I simply like Clement for just how kind and uplifting as a character he is. And his match against Ash for the gym badge will always be one of my favorite moments in the show. Such a go. But my friends, that is my top 10 list, and I hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your day. And if you aren't, I hope I made it just a little bit better. And thank you guys so much for 6K subscribers. It means the world to me. So let's just get 4K and get to 10K real quick. So yeah, let's just get 4,000 people to just click the subscribe button at the same exact time. Ready? 1, 2, 3, boom. You clicked it? I'm so cooked. What am I doing?